Hi folks, hope you're okay. Today we're looking at Michael B. on design. In an interview he says this: well, I think that most biologists certainly would say that evolution can produce design, and that was one of the reasons Darwin introduced his theory, but the question is, can it? And as far as the appearance of design, everybody recognizes design by appearance. That's how we decide that something was designed. You might see a car and decide that was arranged, but suppose we later find out somehow fancifully the car was instantly created by God or something an hour earlier, but we didn't know that, but still we would realize that the car was designed because it had all its parts, tires, motors and so on, arranged for its purpose for driving round. So we recognize design by purposeful arrangement of parts, and the more and more specific the parts mesh together and match the purpose of the system, the more and more confident we can become of design. So you might see a little, say, squiggle in the sand of something as you walk along the beach, and that might be from the wind, or it might be just an accident. And you might see something that looks like a letter A kind of arranged by a stone on the beach, and again that might be an accident. But if you see stones that spell out meet me at 5 o'clock in the blue room of the hotel, then you would be certain that that was designed and what we see in the biology is much more akin to the detailed message that, say, the squiggle on the sand or the faces in clouds or anything else is questionable. So I'll link to the interview. You can listen to it and you can read it. And I just want to say that skeptics will jump and dance, scream and shout, equivocate, and do everything they can to try and browbeat you emotionally that there is no design in this world, and that they would say it is apparent design, but it is not really. If you read Dawkins' The Blind Watchmaker, which is the most deplorable book I've ever read from an academic point of view, philosophically inept to a degree that, to be honest, why he is respected as an academic, I have no idea. But anyhow, his Blind Watchmaker, Dawkins' Blind Watchmaker, is a ridiculous book, lacking any intellectual precision in philosophy. He might have known quite a lot about bats' ears, but he certainly doesn't know about anything about philosophy. But design is design. Simple as that. If biological entities are able to conduct themselves in a way that they are functionally able, then one has to ask the question, what mechanism brought that about? The process of chance and order working together to produce those mechanisms in order for them to have the purpose to be able to function the way they are is just not intellectually credible. Even if we grant you chance and order, you still have to ask the question, where did the order come from? It's no accident that Monod, who was a great biologist and a Nobel Prize winner, said it's pure chance, and that evolution is pure chance. But it's no accident that those kind of biologists, who were much more intellectually honest, have been pushed to the ground, and we get this, well, evolution is not pure chance, it's chance and plus order. Well, the question is, where did the order come from? How did that come from chance? But even if we grant you order and chance, that is not enough variable to produce the mechanisms that we're seeing today. If you actually did a mathematical equation concerning evolution with a model of chance and variables that you have, the mathematical formula would be off the scale for improbability of producing the variety, the orderliness, the structure and the purpose of each organism. And so B's observation is very simple and is very powerful and is very effective. Where we see purpose within a design implies a design. When we see a car, we see a function and a purpose, and it implies design. However you talk about how that car came to be, whether it be a Rolls Royce or whatever, there was a design. And because there's a design, there is information. If there is information, then where did the information come from? A scientific reductionist materialist view of the universe is simply untenable. It is simply intellectual suicide. And all the attacks on B that Dawkins has had is absolutely disgusting and shameful. How many times has Dawkins tried to stop B from publishing papers in learned academic articles and even in highbrow newspapers? How many times has Dawkins done the ad hominem attacks against B, and yet B, all he wants to do is science? I would say that the evolutionists are simply not being empirical. They're not being honest, and they're not looking at the evidence before them, and they want to explain it away with a methodology that they cannot prove, and try to browbeat any ordinary person who can see blatantly obvious that everything has a design around us that we see. And if it has a design, it must have had a designer.